Welcome to the agenda with me, Lasha Kingsley in Vola, Cameroon. On tonight's edition of the program, we are going to dissect the crisis rocking the CRN political party of Professor Maurice Kamto. It should be recalled that recently a member of the National Directorate, Barrister Tamfu Richard, has posted on his Facebook page that he was suspended or removed from the National Directorate by the professor himself who appointed him. And party officials are saying the information is not true. Reason why we sought to find out from those party officials what actually happened during that meeting in Yaoundé. Joining me on tonight's edition of the program is Mbah Raoul, who is the Northwest Regional Secretary for the said political formation. Stay with us as I'll be right back after this short jingle break. Mbah Raoul, good evening. Thank you for joining.
Good evening, Sir Lasha Kingsley. Good evening to the millions and Canadians watching this prestigious program. Happy to be the guest for the program, the agenda.
You are the Northwest Regional Secretary of CRN Political Party. You are here tonight to face us on some of the questions or some of the facts regarding the said political formation. And of course, we want to talk about Barrister Tamfu Richard, who recently has gone on several media outlets, and of course he's posted on his Facebook page before taking to some media platforms to talk about what he termed his exclusion from the National Directorate of the said political formation, citing that he's being targeted for his view on the national president, or how he views the activities of the national president.
Actually, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, the reality about most of our politicians is this aspect of being too sentimental. And when you look at the outing of Barrister Tamfu, I don't think he was excluded from his position as the National Secretary in charge for reforms and modernization of the state. The case of Barrister Tamfu is not the only case. We have had the Regional Secretary in Europe who was at a moment given a warning and removed from his position, but later on he was restored. And I think that if Barrister Tamfu can come out to make a declaration, I think Cameroonians are too smart enough. At least it could have, or the population could have been, which the population have been asking to know, where is the exclusion letter that you said you have been excluded from the party? Barrister Tamfu was invited in the National Directorate because of issues of ethics, discipline within the party. And when you are an official of the party, you don't only be an official of the party, but you equally carry the image of the party. When you look at the outing of Barrister Tamfu, you yourself can say, no, it is not the reality of, I don't know, you can support a candidate, but when you look at his outing, you see that no, it is really gross.
Tamfu is a lawyer, and he said he was asked by the entourage of some of Maurice Kamto's, Professor Maurice Kamto's close aides, those that are his entourage, that he should leave the meeting that they were holding. And shortly after that, the professor himself got up and told him that he's no longer comfortable working with him because of certain activities that he's carrying out that is tarnishing his own image, the professor, that he should leave. He can no longer work with him. A verbal dismissal, and later on he was removed from the WhatsApp forum of the National Directorate. Is that not enough for him to say he has been excluded from the directorate of the party?
Like I explained to you, that Barrister Tamfu case is not the first case. And when you look at section 90 of the statutes of the party, it gives the militants the right of bringing propositions. And Barrister Tamfu is also a member of the National Directorate in charge for the reviewing of the party text, updating the party text. So I think that because I've listened to him, if you think that maybe you are not comfortable with the management of the person who appoints you, it's first of all, you can table your letter of resignation from your post, not from being a militant. The convention is coming up. You chip in your support, or you give your support to the person you think that he can be able to manage the party. Because Barrister Tamfu was appointed, he wasn't elected by the convention.
But he's not the only person to have been appointed. So many other persons
the truth is, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, when you are being appointed for in your position, it means you abide to work with the person that appoints you. And if you think that his management policy is not suitable for you, why not drop, or why not come out with some of the proposal that you are proposing? Because if there was a legal document, or let's say a document that has been established and say these are the things that have been proposing within this party, and the party is not taking it into consideration, then it could be, at least Cameroonians could testify. There is no document that he has been able to propose to Cameroonians that this is what I've been proposing, but my party is not taking it into consideration. At a certain point, because of bad faith, and then you think you are too smart enough when they call you in order and tell you to kindly leave, because of you are not loyal to the person that appoints you, because of the ethics. Now you start looking for the necessary.
But was it necessary for the professor to call him in the meeting, or tell him in the meeting to leave, and just telling him to leave? It was not only the professor, but some of his close aides that he's accused of being people from the same tribe with Professor Maurice Kamto. They are the ones, according to him, that are manipulating the professor to force him to step down from his position.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, to be honest with you, I don't think we should be playing political games, especially with the problems that is going on in our country. We need to be factual. I don't think maybe even on the convocation of Barrister Tamfu, you look at even there is a text that says you are not supposed to speak more than 5 times. But Barrister Tamfu never even gave the opportunity for the people to even, like, when he was called in order, he keeps on talking. He doesn't want to give the room. I am saying the text is there. When you look at it, you cannot be convoked, and when you, instead to listen, you start giving declaration. You don't want to allow people to talk, and no matter what, even give the respect to the national president. No matter what, give the respect to the national president. And the worst of it is, just immediately when that decision was, he was asked to kindly leave. Mr. Lasha Kingsley, there is a tendency we need to be, if I want to take it to a basic level. If you are in class because of misconduct, a teacher tells you to leave the class, that does not mean that you have been dismissed from the class. If a teacher tells you to leave, you don't carry your bags and start moving and saying that you have been dismissed from school. I think that is the exact situation that happened with Barrister Tamfu. I belong to most of the Median Forum. Instantly, while the meeting was still going on, when you were asked to leave, you take the same information and start giving to Median personnel in most of the forum, and even say that they should add that I've even been removed from the WhatsApp. It means that
was it not removed from the WhatsApp?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, to be honest with you, I think sometimes every political party deserves to be militants, supposed to be discreet. We are facing a very rough system, and they ask you to leave, you start going all over. So even you should hold on.
From the way you are speaking, it means that there is no democracy within the MRC political party.
There is the right of democracy.
Because if we are complaining that Mr. Bia is doing this, Mr. Bia is doing that, and then people are not given the opportunity to air their mind within their own political formation that is targeting the regime.
How do you air your mind, Mr. Lasha Kingsley? You air your mind by bringing the first of your proposal on the social media, and then you should table it. Document your proposals that you are putting, because even at the moment that you were asked to leave, you start moving, telling people that you have been removed. And that is why I'm still on the context to say that the conduct, when you look at the conduct of Barrister Tamfu, it's not.
But he has not been behaving this way, and from what we have been seeing him doing,
I have said
his political activities within that your party. We've been following Barrister Tamfu, but actually apparently something is wrong somewhere.
The truth is that the reality of
and it is that the thing that is wrong somewhere, as per facts that we have gathered, is because of his support to the candidature of Michel Ndoki.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, the CRM is a democratic party, and I believe that we have said it. It is very clear. Not even the national president, the secretary in charge of communication, the secretary of the party. There is no problem for a militant to stand at the head of the party. Insofar as it follows the requirement that is necessary, I can be a candidate of the party. Insofar I follow the right procedure. So even the day that Barrister Tamfu was convoked, I don't think that was brought that he was because he supported the candidacy of Michel Ndoki. I understood that. I know the force at which it's coming. There is a moment in life that when you have a problem, when you have pent out maybe some grudges against somebody, and now when they call you, then you decide now to start doing it, because if there was a legal document, or if there was a document that people can see and say these are the things. I said it that Barrister Tamfu is a member of the committee in charge for the reviewing of text, updating the text of the party. You, within this time period that you have been there, what have you reviewed or what have you brought up to the party and the party don't take it into consideration? So when you have been called now in order, you rush now to the social media and giving another. It's like
the main fact that Michel Ndoki came out to condemn what happened to Barrister Tamfu, the alleged exclusion from the directorate, and she is now summoned to face the disciplinary council. Are they not glaring facts that something is wrong somewhere? On the Barrister Tamfu is being targeted for supporting Michel Ndoki, because Michel Ndoki has been summoned to appear before the disciplinary council of
to be honest with you, I know the genesis of which is just that Barrister Tamfu fall in a very wrong trap, because I've listened to Barrister Tamfu. He has said it in many occasions that politics is not of his interest. He's the one giving it. Even if they remove him from the party, it doesn't bother him, because he, apart from politics, he's a lawyer. It means he doesn't have that the dedication. Because if even you, when you want to take an action in politics, you don't only think that you are taking the action, but look at the people that are looking behind you. That if I'm doing this act, what about those people that are looking up to behind, or that are looking up to me? And in that direction, that is why for me I took the courage, because like in the Northwest and Southwest, we have been able to manage this party. The party was being planted in the Northwest in 2016. There have not been any militants from the English-speaking region coming on board to maybe to condemn the situation. And most of the militants keep on calling me, what is happening with one of your brother? Because for me, if you look, I don't think that Barrister Tamfu is giving in the field politics. He plays his role in political communication. We have the renewal of the basic organ, because if you start pointing finger, every directorate, be it Barrister Don Christopher, the regional, the deputy secretary, all the members were involved in renewing the basic organ. They were saying, I left from the Northwest, came and assisted in Littoral, assisted in the West region, assisted in the Center region, in restructuring the basic organ. Where was Barrister Tamfu? Where was the Michel Ndoki? But when you see that the national interest is not there, and if you were to be pointing,
you still haven't answered my question regarding the summon of Michel Ndoki.
The truth is that I think that, like I said, it is not a moment for us to be playing political game. Barrister Tamfu fell in the hand of Michel Ndoki, because this thing came out when it started, when Barrister Michel Ndoki said he wants to go and visit the Northwest region in context of should I say, that since the national president has not been there, he wants to go to the north. He called Barrister Michel Ndok. He called me, but I told Barrister that we have been able to manage, because it is not about to go to the northwest and show that you have been able, you are a party official, you have been able to go to the northwest and talk to the militants. But sometimes we have been an advocate of the Anglophone crisis, and within that period, I told Barrister Michel Ndok that you cannot be saying, you want to leave Cote d'Ivoire, come to the northwest and have a meeting within 20th May, because it is beyond reasonable doubt that every 20th May, the day before that day, is considered as a ghost town. You cannot risk militants' life. She was insistent, and in between that moment, that is when Barrister Tampo came to see me. Barrister Tampo called me and said he wants us to have that meeting in the northwest. I asked, I said, there is a circular. Any directorate meeting members that want to carry out any activity from another region that it is not his region must take an authorization from the national directorate, and it must be signed. Up to today, and it was towards the period of the Canadian peace process. So I told, it started in last 11th of February. He came out with the ideas, and then from then now, 20th May, he came out also with the idea that let us mobilize militants. But I said no. I had to meet with the Secretary General, Barrister Ndong. I discussed it. Barrister Ndong told me that it is first of all the intention of your purpose of going to the northwest need to be known. He said because a convention is coming, he needs to talk with those militants. So that and in between that period, that is when now Barrister Tampo came, and Barrister Tampo was saying that we should hold this meeting in Ayabase.
So you are now saying everything falls back to what I was saying.
No, the context.
Throwing his weight behind Michel Ndok is what has landed him in the troubles.
No.
Because
the reality
from what you were saying, that Michel Ndok wanted to visit the northwest region, and that was like a big challenge to the national chairman who has not been there. For her not to have obtained the authorization from the National Directorate, insisting to go there during those difficult contexts.
No, Mr. Lasha, the intention behind that visit needs to be clear. You don't go there and risk the life of a militant because you want to prove that you can be able to go there. I said it. There is no problem. I told her I am ready to work with you, but you should follow the right channel. And if we want to even think of visiting that area, you think of visiting area, it should be in a very a day that you think that is favorable, that people will not risk their life. You cannot be working on your program that your work schedule in Cote d'Ivoire does not permit you, and the only free time you have is in between the 10th of February and the 19th of May. It doesn't work like that. It means you want to get your own personal interest and at the detriment of because if you find yourself in between the day that has been declared ghost town, then you have yourself to blame. So it's a decision that needs to sit down. I think that even the national president, you must not be see that, and the national president has been a long advocate of the Anglophone. We started it, and we have not given up in advocating for peace to return in that area. And even within the separatist rank, there are militants, there are separatist leaders that even started it along the way. They gave up in advocating or advancing that there should be peace, but we still remain on that stream. It is not about to go there. That is the problem. We have said it, that the national president can go there. Even the problem is that security, because we don't want a situation that he might find himself there and tomorrow he is being targeted and it will be attributed that it is those Mbah boys. We know the system we are working in. So I think that point needs to be clear, and that is why I am saying that on the context of Barrister Tampo, because I have listened to Michel Ndok, there is a very high, I can say a very hidden agenda. As I'm saying, the evidence should be clear. Whenever you approach her, if you are not very careful, you will find yourself.
So you're saying he wants?
That's the reality.
Means that there's no democracy.
No, the truth is that
everything comes back to the fact that Michel Ndok, Maurice Kamto is not happy with Michel Ndok.
It's not Maurice Kamto
declaring that she wants to challenge him at the upcoming convention.
It is not the problem.
So everybody that aligns with Michelle Doki,
no. The truth is that we cannot take from maybe a minor premises and withdraw conclusion. We can only take from maybe major and minor, withdraw a conclusion from a philosophical point of view. How many are aligning with Michelle Doki? She is the women president, the first vice president of the women wings. How many women are behind Michelle Doki? For the men, how many militants have aligned with Michelle Doki and that militant has been suspended? So the truth is that we need to be factual, and the factual part is that on the aspect of Barrister Tamfu is about issue of conduct. Every party has a rules, discipline, ethics. It must be able to work on it. Like I'm saying, if you think even the day he was convoked, they told him where he went wrong. I don't believe that if he was saying that he doesn't like the man.
As it stands now, you are saying that Barrister Tamfu has not been excluded.
He has not been
excluded. Has he been reinstated back into the WhatsApp group?
The truth is that Mr. Lasha can say, I said it even from a basic principle that sometimes
which means now that if they call off a directorate meeting, Barrister Tamfu will not even know that there's a meeting.
It could be. The truth is that
if they don't call him on phone that a meeting has been scheduled, he will never know because he's no longer part
for the moment.
Which means that he has been removed. He has been suspended, whether be it temporal or indefinitely.
Mr. Lasha Kings, I said it from a basic point of view that if a teacher sends a child out of class room, it doesn't mean that child has been dismissed. It's maybe sometimes you look if that child is calm.
So you are stating here authoritatively that Barrister Tamfu has not been excluded.
He has not been excluded, and the truth is that's why I said from the beginning that the sentimental part of it.
So why is your party not coming out with an official document to say that the information being circulated by one of our directorial members that is not true?
The truth is
Barrister Tamfu is still a member of the director. Why is your party not coming out with a document
over issues because we have a lot of issues that we keep our head in front. We cannot spend time talking about issues of where somebody get up and invent a problem when the problem does not exist, and everywhere on social media people are talking about it. And even the deputy secretary in his own pay, he said it that he has not been excluded. When you are being excluded, I said it, there is not.
But administration is written, it's not verbal.
That is why I said that
he is also verbal. You're going verbal.
If I was
at the end of the day, we don't even know who is saying the truth.
The reality of it is that if Barrister Tamfu has a legal mind, it could be his right to say, all right, can I have a written document? Then you wait for it. I said it that his case of warning is even a warning. It's not the first case. We have seen a case like that happened in Europe. The regional secretary in charge, Mr. Njoko Harry, and later on he was restored back to his position. So why coming on board and to give false allegation and start bringing other material elements just to add so that it should suit to the point? So it doesn't.
Mbah Raoul, don't you think that these are just a manifestation of the frustrations of Barrister Tamfu and Michelle Doki for the singular act that the national president took for the party to boycott the 2018 legislative and 2020 legislative and municipal elections?
Mr. Lasha Kisley, first of all, before coming to that, if on the context of Michelle Doki and Barrister Tamfu, I keep on asking, you know your way that you think you want to manage this party. Must you be divided? Must you have another camp before you exhibit or execute that fine, let me put it that way, the fine policy at which you want? Why not bring it together? We know the situation of this issue of disunity, because the truth is that
so many people have resigned, but they are still holding on, and they are saying that we have this party at heart.
Okay.
This party has to be taken to the next level. And as it stands now, you guys cannot produce a legal candidate when it comes to the 2025 presidential election. President Paul Biya alone has the electoral calendar, which means that it has never happened in Cameroon for a legislative election to be called off before the presidential election.
The candidate of Barrister Tamfu,
if that calendar is maintained, if the President Paul Biya's calendar is maintained, it means that as it stands now, your party cannot produce a legal candidate in 2025 presidential
Mr. Lasha,
elections.
I think that there is a strategy.
What is the strategy? Going to first class chiefs?
It is not my capacity.
Most of them are allied to
Mr. Lasha,
the ruling CBD and political party. How do you intend to get the signature?
If you are to take it, let's say according to the legal part or the electoral calendar 2025, Cameroonians are watching. If that 2025 comes and the leader, the national president, Professor Maurice Kamto, don't lead us to the path, then it is now the room for Cameroonians to judge. But
the question is how.
The truth is that,
which means he has not taken time to explain to the grassroots militants and even some third-party officials about the how. Because if we go by how things operate normally, you guys cannot produce a legal candidate. That's the truth.
Mr. Lasha Kingsley, do you think that with the outing of Barrister Tamfu, if informations were to be given and the way, since most of the militants are not even discreet on the strategy at which we can take, if you pass that same strategy, because we have a committee, the national organ of the party has the committee of the wise. We have the national directorate, and there are some moments within that party that the committee of the wise will have an information where the committee, the national directorate, they don't have that the information. You get the point. And when you look at an outing of Barrister Tamfu, giving his own going on social media to give, it means that he's not even discreet. Do you think the committee of the wise should take information and give to the national directorate? That is the structure of the party, and that is why I know.
So now the militants are left to be wandering.
They have to follow the leader.
Lost sheep.
They have to follow, because I say that if
the leader cannot tell them this is the direction we are going.
Mr. Lasha,
they are lost.
A team of I keep on saying that a team of lion that is led by a sheep will automatically fail compared to a team of sheep that is led by a lion. Kamto is the team of the lion. We are only the let's consider some are the sheep. So ask the candidate that Barrister Tamfu is supporting that. How do you think you can take this party towards the presidential election?
I've interviewed her,
and she says she doesn't know.
No, she says she doesn't know.
No, and you want to lead us?
No, she doesn't know. But if she has to lead the party now, the party will have to start from scratch.
It means it is 2010.
They will have to start from the legislative and municipal election, so that they will be able to produce a legal candidate for the upcoming election. 2025 is no longer a thing.
And he will be the one to force the government to do that. That is the question. If you think that you want to challenge, or you want to be the head of the party, tell us that this, because we are at a very difficult moment, and we know the strategy. The national president.
And the difficult moments is caused by the singular action of the national president.
Coming back now,
boycotting.
Let me get now to the question you asked about the point of maybe the the legislative that we boycott. The reality of it is that before you want to adhere to any political party, it is very important to know the agenda, read the text of the party. CRM foundation is not built to give positions to members. It is built on the foundation of equality, to let every Cameroonian feel. It's not to accompany some people to go to the parliament. Those that said, all right, they want to go to the parliament, when we came out with the decision not to take part in the 2011, what has changed? Some were saying that to carry out a peaceful manifestation is a blunder. But we saw another, of recent, we saw one of the opposition party on the street to talk about issue of electricity. But whereas that individual has a representative in the parliament, and even part of the member of his representative, at the end they said they have given up because on that same parliament things are not changing. So the reality is that as we are advancing or going up towards we have to read the political landscape. If we said we cannot take part, because that was the decision that I listened to Barrister Tambo, that we talk about the revision of the electoral code. He's asking, the war in the Northwest, has it ended? Mr. Lasha Kingsley, no political party was formed to go and boycott. You read and you read the political landscape. So you guys
didn't learn from the SDF?
Mr. Lasha Kingsley,
boycott?
It is not about learn. SDF played his own part. We are within the landscape to play our own part. And if we look at the political landscape, we don't need to be constant in application of politics. You read it. If it is something that we have also played our own historic role in advocating, be it through the media, be it through boycott, that problems should be resolved in the country. It doesn't mean that we'll stand there until that thing, until the problem needs to be resolved. We have to advance. As we are advancing, we are changing strategy.
Is it not a political miscalculation? That,
it is not. It is not. It is too early. It is too early.
Is trying to to chastise.
The reality of it is that it is too early to make fast judgment. If you don't know, you ask. That is the problem with most of the militants resigning, because they base their mind on illusion. They base their mind on reading what Cameroonians are saying. Like I said, as we are advancing into politics, we read also the political landscape. If the question of the question of Barrister Tanko saying that the reason why I am very upset,
Cameroonians believe in Professor Maurice Kamto. How is he going to lead them?
I said it, and I've listened to Mr.
How is he going to lead them?
Professor Kamto has
by
said
staying outside, not even in any institution. How is he going to lead?
The truth is that Mr. Tamfu Kingsley, we should be very practical. The revision of the electoral code that Barrister Tamfu talks about, I am shocked that a militant is not even aware that there was a coalition put in place to revise.
But the coalition is not the National Assembly.
Do you know that?
Okay. But you guys are blocked.
No.
Coalition. Is that what you're talking about?
Lasha Kingsley, that coalition in the revision of the electoral code was signed by a majority of the members of that have representative at the parliament, be it Cabral Libi, the party of that's the PCRN, the SDF. They have already revised. The text is there. It means that even you are talking now, they ask you that bring me the new electoral. If
they have to go through parliament.
That is, but the people those.
And we know where the text has to first of all go to the presidency.
Mr. Lasha,
to leave the presidency and come.
That it has to go through the parliament, but the representative of the parliament, the representative of the National Assembly, they sign the text. The text is there. If at one moment now the political landscape has to change, they say bring that text. It will go operational.
Okay.
The text is already there. But when Barrister Stamford said they have not yet revised, the party has fought hard to make sure that it comes with coalition with the PCRN, the SDF, and they sign it.
Okay. But Raoul, I'm sure our time is up. Thank you so much for coming to shed light on some of the burning issues rocking your political formation. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. And just to make a conclusion, it's first of all, it takes the courage because to accept this invitation, because normally since most of our militants in the Northwest were asking what is wrong with your fellow brothers, Barrister Tamfu, because at the end, sometimes I just told myself that there are actions you are taking, you don't know that it has a consequences on the militants back on ground. And some I have through the with Barrister Wasum Mispa, we have fought hard to make sure that we put in place militants, and we have
so the take-home message is that Barrister Tamfu has not been suspended.
He has not been suspended, and I don't know the force behind, like I said it.
Okay. That
is putting Barrister Tamfu, but I know that sometime he will come in order and we will work together to rebuild back the confidence.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.